You're good enough. Come on. I can do this.
Well, now I'm going to be doing that every time.
Yeah. And little do they know we were just like, do you want to go first or me first? You first, me first. No. Okay. Here, we're going to do this. I overcomplicate things.
Well, we're back 2 Sundays in a row to get ourselves back on schedule. And damn, it's a snowy Sunday. It's cold outside.
Oh, baby. It's cold outside.
So the talk's got to be spicy today.
Warm things up.
Because
well, mine's already turned to Arkansas mud. It's already got back above freezing.
It snowed overnight between Friday and yesterday morning, but it's cold still, so nothing's melted.
But you wanted snow, right? To
kind of. I wish it would melt now, but I got to play with this out in the snow, which was really a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I was even anticipating. So I got a few pictures out in the snow, even though it was cold. I probably didn't spend as much time out there as I should have, but it was still still fun.
Because I'm to that age where it's like, oh, that's pretty. Back to the couch.
Yeah, the girls were outside. I mean, they were outside for like 3 hours yesterday. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, kids, they're a lot more resilient. I remember doing that, stomping through the frozen puddles and stuff.
Oh yeah.
How about that Eagles? Are we talking football or is it football?
Man, we should have had. Are you ready for some football intro for this one?
That is football, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I'd seen some posts about it somewhere.
Yeah. It's not avoidable around up. Not that I avoid it, but it's everywhere up here right now. So.
Oh yeah, you're in a major town. Down here, we don't have a lot of sports teams in my area.
Yeah, but we're interrupting the day of pigskin antics for listing.
And I did see some confusion earlier in the chat before we got on. People asking if we were going to count down the top figures we knew about that we were excited for, or if we were wish listing figures we'd like to see in toy lines throughout this new year.
That's a good question. My problem is I can't even remember what they've already announced for us.
I know. and at this point, sometimes pre-orders are for 2023.
Yeah,
so,
that's
true.
Mean,
I can't keep track of what's this year, last year, next year. Whatever. What we're doing is wish listing.
Yeah.
We have many main lines, but main lines, we have 5, which happens to work into the Fwoosh thing.
Yeah, we whittled it down to 5 for today.
Yeah. Which you get past what do we got? Masters, we have G.I. Joe, we have
Turtles,
Star Wars, and Marvel Legends. That's pretty much the biggies.
Yeah.
And Transformers. Yeah.
Dead weight as usual over here.
And even that, I don't know if I could wish list one character that we don't have yet that I want. Yeah. And hell, I guarantee, well, no. Okay. No, you can't say that. If we get another 89 Batman top situation, it may be 2024.
That's true.
So who knows?
That's what scares me is like, I know we talked about it briefly last week that 112 day was this past week, but it was kind of
anticlimactic.
Yeah. And you're talking about the 89 Batman thing. It's like, I just want to be able to order the Dick Tracy stuff because I'm already scared for how long it's going to take for that stuff to come out.
Holy moly, South Alaska was 67.
Dang. I never have ever had the thought that I would move to Alaska in the middle of winter, and yet here we are because it's like 25 today.
Yeah, January 15th, 2-year pre-order anniversary for 89 Batman.
Wow.
And it's been pushed to March. June,
so how did you celebrate that?
By forgetting about it again. I have this superpower that I just click it off. Okay, yeah. We'll come back around.
That's kind of what I do. I've gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, I want that stuff that takes forever to come out, but I've got so much that comes out in between now and then. It's like, okay.
And then when it's a surprise, it's kind of like, Well, okay, I won't go there, but
Yeah.
you forget about it, comes back around. You're surprised.
Yeah. So when you do get that nondescript email where you have to go in, we were talking about you have to go in and actually look at the order number to tell you what what it
Oh,
is.
that's another thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes did I pre-order that Mezco or not? Or when was it originally scheduled? I don't feel like digging through all that number stuff on my pre-order page.
Well, I mean, the big thing with Batman being delayed is because they're like doing like a seamless body, right? Like a unique body type for him.
That, and I think there's a movable eye system in place that I don't think we've seen with Mezco yet. So it seems like a lot of experimentation.
See
That's
that whenever I order, and it happens a lot with the stuff that I order from Mezco, if it's like a new body type or something like that, I always get scared because it's like, how long is this going to take? So I think about like the Fantastic Four set. It's like, are they going to get the thing? Is he going to take? I would imagine it would take that long, but yeah, I get it.
But they have, was it Alien? The Alien figures, they've solicited 2 that have seamless body. So I feel like, well, I can't say that. I like to think that they have a grasp on that if they were soliciting more figures that use that system, but
Yeah,
who knows?
yeah.
But then the moving eyes come into play too.
I'm always split on those. It's kind of cool, but if it's not perfect, it's like more trouble than it's worth.
Oh, y'all talking about Orlok? I did like. It did look good.
Yeah, the only thing that made me feel though, it was like it just made me more sad that I didn't get the first one because I think I like the first one better. But it's
You like the kind of silent movie look?
yeah. So I kind of washed it from my brain, and I wasn't staying up for.
Which is a good thing you didn't, because it would have been another hour.
Yeah.
Or so on top of that. And
Yeah.
even then, I wasn't sure. I'm not sure how it went when the site finally came back up and you were able to order it. I don't know if it was a short window or stuff, because I actually forgot about it. Then about 2 a.m. I checked and it was gone. It was all over the place.
Bummer, man.
I'd left it to fate and forgetfulness. Oh, there's I heard a lot of Ben 10. I don't know if I've watched a lot of Ben 10 when my kids were watching it and stuff, but it's not a bad idea.
I don't know anything about Ben 10, unfortunately.
I mean, if they did it like Gargoyles, where they kind of make it semi-realistic, there's a lot of alien creatures and stuff in Ben 10 that would be nifty type creatures that you could use other places.
Really? That would be cool.
Howdy, Super Spock.
Yeah, Spock. Oh. Well, are we gonna list?
Yeah, you want a wish list? You want to get into it?
Yeah, I feel like we should get into it and see where this conversation takes me, because it's funny whenever you talk about like your picks or reveal them and then talk about your rationale to get there, it always spurs more conversation in my brain. So it's
because
fun.
Because we already spilled the beans about not talking about, but going in what order we wanted to go to in before this. So we showed each other our pictures and our choices and stuff, but it wasn't really any conversation. Because I'm already ready for some of yours. I thought, oh, that's a better choice. Oh, I want that too. Oh.
That's okay. I your picks, it's like I'd get every one of them, I would say.
Exodus. I wasn't into Exodus. I think that was in that short time where I was just kind of ignoring everything comic book. There was lots of work and other things going on.
Yeah.
He is a mean guy like that. Is that the one you saw?
It's those soft goods. It's soft goods.
He only gets like that whenever I'm picking best of. It's okay during wish lists.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with Masters of the Universe, because the direction we're going to go here seems kind of biased, but we can't help liking what we like most. Now And I want to start with Masters because you're a much bigger Masters guy.
Well, and also, but at the same time, I think we're starting with Masters because I think we are buying Masters figures now. Even for me, maybe somewhat unexpectedly, or not really had planned to, because I think we're both of the minds that, and I'm pointing over to what you
Yeah,
can't see.
I know
We're
what
both
you're
of the
getting at.
minds that our real Masters collections came with classics, right? So it's like
Yeah,
this is, I don't know, icing or just whatever at this point.
because when you told me to pick, a Masters character that I want in plastic form, it's hard because classics is my line, and I got everything that I was attached to as a kid in the cartoon.
Yeah.
I didn't get wait later on like New Adventures and
Hmm.
everything like that. I didn't even
Yeah.
watch a lot of She-Ra, so I got that. But I did come up with something that I want to see in the new Masterverse line, but it's fairly predictable. It's I've seen it on a lot of wish lists, and it's Evil Lynn in her sorceress type costume.
That's freaking rad, man.
Because I don't know, this design, they nailed it. This
Yeah.
is It's not exactly what you would picture if you thought, oh, Evil Lynn takes over the power, the Gray Skull becomes her version of the sorceress. But at the same time, it's what you kind of pictured.
Hmm. And you're right. Bringing that her personal, I don't know, styling design into a sorceress motif. They did a really, really, really nice job with it. And even though the longer I kind of live with the Masterverse figures, the less I like them. I do want to see this as a Masterverse figure.
Well, how about this? What if they were to like translate this into Origins, or if and when Classics ever makes a comeback, that they classic up the Revelation designs?
Oh yeah, a classics version. This would be that'd be rad.
because because I'm kind of with you. I like I, I enjoy Masterverse, and I've picked up the series
Mhm.
2 and 3 in the past few weeks, but I
Yeah,
haven't opened them yet. It's been kind of a yay, I got them. Oh, okay.
I enjoy being able to get a 6-7 inch He-Man line and have it available at retail, and it exists, and liking for the most part a lot of the designs. But then it's just one of those things where it's unfair or whatever, but there are little ticks about it that I start to notice, or I compare it to other stuff, and it's just not as it's just not as, I don't know, solid to me or something. I
Right.
don't.
There's a Mattel aspect to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because yeah, I nearly went with the big not barbarian, but the big brute He-Man,
Hmm.
because I think that was I enjoyed the first half, but
Yeah.
it was that really got me to, oh man, yeah, that's awesome. Just he's a mindless, which I know is essentially Hulk in
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe, but it was still a cool thing. And I
Yeah.
almost picked somebody said it a minute ago, whenever Evil Lynn was the big power being. I
Oh
just
yeah.
like this design.
Well,
It's
and,
slick.
and when I was considering Masterverse, I was like, well, I haven't gotten my
Savage.
favorite He-Man character in Masterverse yet, but they did announce Merman already, and I have him pre-ordered. But it's
Mhm.
like the stripped down modern, like present time Merman, which to me wouldn't isn't as exciting as has gotten like the flashback Merman. But it's like I felt stupid picking a version of a character that still hasn't gotten his first figure out yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You see,
I gave Masterverse stuff some thought for sure.
Final Form 2, I did see when I was going through the designs. This is off oh man, I can't remember, off the animation company's Twitter.
Mhm.
They put up all these turnarounds and stuff, which is awesome. And there
Yeah.
was also Orko in his white wizard robe. I thought, oh, that's cool too, but I don't even have the first Orko yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
This is my most wanted though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great design, and honestly, it's a it's a design that works if you're into Mythic Legions, like you said. I mean, this I think this would blend in really well with kind of, you know, a lot of the heavy bat motif things that they have going there. If you wanted to do like prehistoric DC type of take, because what was it, Funko, when they did like the prehistoric ones? Yeah.
Funko, yeah.
Yeah.
And the castle and the rides and everything else.
Oh yeah, I have the beasts from that. Yeah, that's right.
I seem to remember you got a box at some point.
Yeah, and yeah.
There you go. Powerhouse Anim. Yeah, they had a lot of cool stuff on there that I hadn't seen until I went searching for pictures.
Yeah.
Primal Age.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because they did other characters in that same kind of...
Yeah, I have Slive, of course.
Of course.
Because they did Thundercats, but I think that's the only one that I still kind of have, because they had this like Mortal Kombat, a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm remembering their setup at Toy Fair long ago. Remember Toy Fair?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was, because it was that big long wall with those shallow wood grain shelves where all of it was. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I just looked up white Robe Orco. I'll say, yeah, it's just a cool look.
That Orco comes around after he defeats the Balrog.
Look to me. Look to the south. Or east, west. I can't even remember the end of that.
He's riding a horse.
So, like I said, fairly predictable. I mean, those last episodes have a lot of characters, because there's also the shadow beasts and the dragons, and I was looking through that Twitter just going, oh, I would take all of these.
Yeah. There's a lot to keep them busy. So I say bring it.
So since mine is predictable, yours is less so, right?
You know, honestly, until you showed me this, I wasn't like going to guess right away that this was going to be your choice. So I think you're selling yourself a little short on the predictability part. I feel like I'm being more predictable with my choice here.
Well, I say predictable because whenever I see people wish list Masterverse figures, this is usually up there, because
I gotcha.
No, I'm not saying all the Revelation designs were out of the park. You know,
right?
There were some that were kind of, but this is kind of a, yep, that's exactly where I would have thought of this going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
all right. So we're going to move on to mine then?
Yeah.
All right. So for mine, I'm going in it's like we have 3 or more than 3 Masters of the Universe lines going right now that you can get, because you've got Revelation or Masterverse, you've got the new CGI He-Man cartoon, you got the little stuff, but then you also have Origins, which is where my choice comes from, because it's that little line that I didn't expect that I was even going to collect, but then they showed my favorite character, Merman, and then I was pretty much all in, and now I'm pretty much all in. So I have to go to my second favorite Masters of the Universe character.
I know.
Character.
Damn it. Look, if you hold the button. Okay, we're going to do it like this. I'm going to click off screen, get it ready, and then go.
Spoiler alerts.
We didn't go all the way.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But my my second favorite Masters of the Universe character does not have an Origins figure yet, so I am picking Spikor for Origins.
And when you first sent me this picture, I thought, well, I just bought Spikor in Masterverse. My brain doesn't think to Origins.
Yeah. So he makes sense. I mean, obviously I'm biased because after Merman, he's my favorite character. But with the WWE Motu matchup line that they do, Junkyard Dog was just released, and he has Spikor's quote-unquote armor piece. So he's very much almost there. So I think he is an easy one to get done. He's not a character that requires a lot of new tooling like Mantenna, who would probably be my next pick. for Origins, but I like the Origins line the best out of the lines that are going right now. So I had to go in this area too. But I don't know. I mean, he's a big, spiky, purple porcupine guy with the trident arm. It's what's not to love.
And it still throws me off guard because I remember originally asking you, so you're going to do Origins? And you're like, hell no. And then
it's I don't know. I feel like a lot of the time I'm collecting a line that I already have because I have so much of the vintage stuff, or I'm collecting a line in a scale that is not my preferred anymore. But the colors, the playability, yeah, there are some choices sometime with articulation or stylistic pieces. But I would hope Spikor would be a tough one to mess up.
Right.
And so I'm having a lot of fun with Origins, even though it frustrates the hell out of me because I got to find a bigger space for it.
If I were to do Origins, it'd be hard for me to not display them on the card because there's also that factor. When I was a kid, seeing those on the pegs.
Yeah,
that's how they get me with those damn nostalgia tug cards with Star Wars Legends.
And I have, to that point, I have, the regular Merman and then the Lord of Power Merman. I have carded ones of those because I've got a Merman collection. Surprise, surprise. But Spikor might be another one that I would go in for a carded figure as well.
Well, you also have carded like Buzz Off, and
I don't have a loose Buzz Off yet, but yeah,
they need to make the trek up to you soon.
Yeah, so Spikor, I mean, he's a cool one. I gave it some thought, and I guess I'll ask you because I kind of went through this in my head. I think I would probably handle the trident, and I think they would handle the trident the same way that Classics did, where it doesn't actually retract in a straight arm, and it would be a swappable piece. I think from a money standpoint or budget, it's easier to do that. Like have a hand and then a retracted and then a extended trident, and I think that would probably be the way that I would want to go.
Extend it,
yeah,
bop it,
twist it, extend it.
But as I was looking at this picture, I had that exact same thought that it would probably go swappable because they can just reuse the arm, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That's a master staple.
Yeah, it's just a standard. I mean, his arms and legs, except for if you did it swappable, except for the trident itself. I mean, it's just regular like Man-at-Arms or He-Man parts or whoever has that regular cuff on that other side.
But originally, I mean, it's been a while. Originally, it was an extending thing, wasn't it?
In the vintage line.
Vintage, yeah.
Oh yeah. That one, it's a unique hollow straight arm, and the trident just out and in. Yep.
But that also worked along with the spin waist. Where it would shoot out if you spun and it hit its in place. Yeah.
I think so. It's right over there.
I don't have one, so I can't check it. I want to
Mechaneck was definitely like that.
Man, I love Mechaneck.
He is, he's one of those guys that it's like he catches so much flack as a Masters character.
I think that's why I love him, though. Hey, we need to see over this 7-foot wall,
right?
Called Mechaneck.
But to that point, it's like his design and whatnot, I like so much better than some of the characters that are popular for reasons that I don't understand. So yeah, I definitely want Mechaneck.
And I know Mechaneck it could extend way further. I'm just going by that vintage toy. Yeah. You were playing along, and we need to see through Grayskull's window. That's it.
Quick, over this 7-foot tall privacy fence.
I can't see over Ram Man. Oh, we'll be right here.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere for a while. So aside from keeping like the theme of purple, between both picks. I think we're kind of on like different planets with these choices for He-Man, and obviously that speaks to the diversity of the Masters designs, but also for the lines that they have going right now, right? Can you believe
Right,
that?
exactly.
Lines that Masters has going right now.
Which is crazy. At first I thought, well, they're just testing the waters. They're tossing, here's this, which one's going to do better? No, I do see people wish listing for Masters Origin stuff. Is that line continuing, or is it stopping, or is it the WWE line that's stopping?
The WWE line is stopping because they're going back to doing like Hasbro style WWE figures like they were doing for a while. So I hope I will say if they stop Origins, I think a lot of people are going to be really, 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 really upset with that. Because to me now, with as much as they've done, which has been a lot, if they don't finish that vintage lineup, I think that's going to be a major.
Oh, Sunburn He-Man from that pick. He is kind of toasty.
Yeah. He's like his like blood pressure has gone up because he knows he's about to get spiked.
Oh, they going Remco or?
No, I think they're going the old Hasbro style ones, right? I think so. Because Remco never made WWF stuff.
Oh, maybe confusing.
I don't know, but it looks like
Masters
some of the older ones that I had. So I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, the WWE. Oh, F. You said F, and I was actually confused for a minute. What the hell's WWE? Oh, yeah, WWF.
It's the World Wildlife Fund.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to click this back to here.
Yes, safely.
Do this behind the safety of cover. That brings us to G.I. Joe.
All right.
And this is going to be a huge surprise.
Yeah, I'm going first with Joe because my pick is not boring, but it is very predictable.
Even if I hadn't have put it out for everyone to see just a couple of minutes ago.
Right. So I'm not mad about this one getting blown because it's like, gee, what's it going to be?
So who is your G.I. Joe pick that you would like to see this year?
Believe it or not,
I'm working on
no job. No, it's Chuckles. Of course it's Chuckles. Because it's kind of like any property that's just getting a line going. I usually have a favorite character, and I have to keep that favorite character at the top of my list until they get done, right? So I'm not necessarily assigning myself to a specific line here because I have, what I would consider to be Hasbro representation on the left, and then what would maybe be a Super 7 Ultimates representation on the right. Whoever wants to bring me Chuckles first is the winner, but I'll take, both animated and classified versions. So yeah, it's Chuckles, and I get it. There are stupid dinglings out there on this planet that are making like the dress for him could be controversial because they're a-holes, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a great character and I want a figure of him, and he's always been my favorite Joe character.
And you've almost got me talked. Well, I didn't care about Chuckles until you started talking about Chuckles.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, Chuckles? And I read that mini-series, IDW, I think. Well, it may have been a mini, or he was like super, undercover and everything else. But I think the turning point for me was finding out he was from Little Rock, Arkansas, in the bio on GIJoe.com.
There you go. There you go.
Like, holy shit.
We will take fans and well-wishers of Chuckles for some such reason. So into the fold.
Hometown boys. You don't run across a lot of comic book characters that are from Arkansas. So when it does happen, I must embrace.
Go a little Hasbro cross-line team up here, but maybe.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be Chuckles, and then maybe if they do Chuckles, then it'll probably be the fridge after that. So.
No. Some backstory to this. A lot of people have heard why you like Chuckles, but you weren't a GI Joe kid,
right? I was when I was a kid. I was not allowed to play with GI Joes because they were war toys. So
right. So
yeah.
you didn't have a lot of GI Joe. Did you get to watch? Oh well, the cartoon was probably a little past.
The cartoon was a little past, I think, because it was a little early for me. But not having the toys, I never really set line of sight onto the cartoon much either. But no, I did not actually own any GI Joe figures except for Chuckles because my cousin had all the Joes. My cousin was that kid down the street that had the flag, had everything, right? He was an only child. He's an only child. And so he got a lot of cool stuff. And he had like Joes like crazy. And I don't know if it was pity for me or him not necessarily liking Chuckles or both or whatever. I was at his house one time. He gave me his Chuckles figure along with Shipwreck's parrot. And I had Chuckles. I was so afraid that my mom was going to find this figure that I only played with him when my bedroom door was closed and it was quiet and I was playing with Chuckles and it was awesome. I'd always hide him in my room in a different place to cover tracks. And then the last time I did it, it had been a while and I couldn't remember where I hid him. And then I lost Chuckles to the world until I moved out for college and I found him, where I finally admitted the story to my mother. And she thought it was hilarious. And then she put him in, she had like this, printer's drawer thing where she keeps all of this, thing. He stood in there for a long time until she finally gave him back to me. And now he's here with the parrot. So that's a ridiculous story. You may think Chuckles is a ridiculous character, but I'm never coming off. That's why I need him to be my Joe figure.
Now, did you say if he had a gun or not? Or no? Yes.
I did not have his gun. I went back and got the gun. But my mom is one of the types. It's like I could play with everything else, but it was the GI Joe was war and it was guns, and she hates all of that stuff. So for some reason, Joe was targeted. No Joes, no ways. So I had to go covert with Chuckles, which I guess fits into his IDW run, right?
Yeah, it's kind of he was undercover. It's weird how all that comes back around.
Exactly.
Because I watched the GI Joe cartoon, right? But we didn't do a lot of GI Joe toys because of the Masters and the Transformers and the Star Wars and other stuff. But again, I had a friend who got the ships and the planes and the tanks and all those. So we'd play whenever we went over there. But my own collection, I had very, very few.
Yeah.
And I think I had a Destro that ended up in the dirt. It's probably still in the backyard.
Didn't they all end up in the dirt eventually?
Yeah, because you have to dig the trenches and build up the mountains and the valleys and the canyons.
Yeah.
And I think I had, and this was a toss up between Night Creeper. I'm jumping to my choice because you took Chuckles. Yeah, I'm almost. I was like, I'll go for Chuckles too. We'll double it up, get the good karma out there. But I thought, no, that's going to be your choice. I nearly went Night Creeper because that's one of the ones I remember having. Oh, before we move to that though, are you good with this?
I'm good with everything except the hair, maybe.
Right. It's not the 80s top. They updated them.
Well, and even then, I mean, is this the art that they're using on the site?
Yeah, and they usually change it when there's a figure coming.
Okay, because I was going to say, even then, it feels like maybe it's a few years old because this strikes me as mid to early 2000s hair or something like that. I don't know.
I think this is comic art from an older series of some kind.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah,
but since like the outfit and the whatnot, that'd be fine for classified.
Yeah, it does look like Prince Adam.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah,
that
the
same style.
2000X one especially. Ugh. Yeah. Now I hate it.
Oh no, Chuckles sucks. Chuckles is still awesome. Just this picture. So didn't go Chuckles, didn't go Night Creeper, even though I feel like that's on their radar. I don't know what it has to do with the new movie, but he popped up in the less articulated line, and I've been seeing people make customs of him. And he's got that awesome 5-arrow crossbow.
Yeah.
But I didn't go there. I went with the other figure I played the hell out of with when I was a kid, and that's Snow Serpent. For some reason, I love this design. This was my guy.
The design in the winter wear is really cool. I will say, having gotten that Star Wars mortar stormtrooper, that dude looks freaking awesome on the shelf, posed down just like that, next to that. So it's like, I need that pose and whatnot on the Joe shelf too.
Yeah, there's just something about the fuzzies around the Arctic wear.
Yeah.
The figure even had that sculpted like furry up the forearm all the way to the elbow. And I thought, well, my first thought was Joe needs some grunts, you know? And then I started thinking through all the characters. But I feel like if a named character, they're going to eventually get to it, or at least I hope so.
Yeah.
So this is an army builder. This is one I would buy 4, 5, 6, 18 of.
Damn, yeah, it's cool. And it makes days like today, you want to run outside and play with them.
Oh man, and this is all you guys, you're a bunch of assholes.
G.I. Joe Gus.
You have the bright white Snow Serpent with
G.I. Joe Gus. I saw that.
with some swoosh blue.
Yeah. Look at you.
I am predictable. Damn it. I need another Gus head for G.I. Joe type operations.
Yeah. And
this would work.
Yeah, that it's a cool. As someone who is getting to know Joe now, I can't say that I know anything about the character. This is probably the first time I've ever seen this design, and it's cool, and I would buy it.
See, they need some who's getting snow right now? All the snow is I did go for a winter character in the winter.
Now, I see. I went with the guy in like the tropical outfit. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, then they could do a snow job to battle them.
There you go. Snow job.
Oh, hello there.
Hello there. But yeah, this was definitely, except for when people like just now put the rationalization about like bright white, swoosh blue, Gus.
Yeah.
Well, we should have seen this coming, but this was not anything that I would have expected from you. I guess maybe because I didn't know this character existed until you pulled this up.
And all of that, and now here comes the flocking jokes. You guys.
Oh, that's a must. Yeah.
No. It's a bullshit. Although I wouldn't be too bad with the collar that came with the trooper that eventually became Gus, but that's more furry, not
or the Han, the Bespin Han one.
Yep. That's softer. It's not flocking.
Yeah. And I could, let's see. They haven't done a scrap of materials, right? In classified yet. It's all been plastic, right?
I don't think so.
But that could definitely be a way to go for that.
No. It's gonna be all sculpted. Although that collar sculpted would get in the way.
Yeah.
But I can see that having like separate goggles that flip down.
Oh man, they'd be doing that.
Some white, some blue. Oh yeah, this is easy. Hasbro. Here, I'll give him a call right now. Hey, look. Hey.
Mr. Hasbro.
I agreed to some fabric, not some flocking. There's no reason for this to be flocked.
I don't know. We may need to go back and check the tape on that. So
Okay.
Snow Serpent.
Snow Serpent. It's an army. Maybe I'm still on an army builder high after bats and alley vipers too.
Yeah. Which the alley viper is a very, very cool figure. But when I think of like G.I. Joe designs and army builders, this is much more in line with
right.
I don't know, reasonable expectation, because I don't know where the hell the alley viper design comes from, but it's wild, man.
Well, well, on top of missing where to put the weapons on the backpack in that review, I also was corrected, because I don't know, it wouldn't have fit in with my joke if I had said that they just come in full force. There's no stealth to it, obviously. Yeah. I mean, unless they're hiding in some kind of orange and blue environment. But that wasn't the joke, you know. I had to work it in somehow. Hey, but yeah, I need some more of those. I got my bats from Pulse.
Oh yeah,
I need more alley vipers. I think maybe.
I think I have one or two more bats coming. I'm waiting on Dorkside for those though. So yeah.
Give me death before flocking.
Death before flocking. That sounds like a metal band album title.
Yeah.
It probably needs to go on a t-shirt. Death before flocking.
I will need some wild bills up there too.
Yeah. Wild Bill's cool. I like rock and roll. I mean, I know he's not the most interesting looking guy, but you know, California dude with the beard that's like the heavy artillery guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Still waiting for alley viper from BBTS.
Yeah, it's funny how different retailers get different things, because you know, yeah, I'm still waiting. But I still haven't gotten the armadillo wave yet. I don't think Dorkside's gotten that, but they got, you know, Spirit and Storm Shadow and those guys already.
Crazy.
So it's crazy.
Oh, that is worse. Death by flocking.
Ooh.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah. We can take you to one of those garden centers or nurseries where you can buy a Christmas tree and they'll flock it for you on site. I think that's a Fwoosh field trip for next winter. and we'll make you stand there while you get flocked.
Go get flocked. Let's get
flocked. Get flocked. We'll have the flocking be Fwoosh blue. I think we can do that.
Buried under a ton of, oh man, don't even get me picturing that. Ugh, bunch of Panthers and Mossmans, and
here's an acrylic case down at the bottom. Here is a 10 mint Boba Fett rocket firing or whatever down at the bottom. You just got to make your way down to it for it to be yours.
To hell with that Boba Fett. Nope.
Vinyl Cape Jawa.
Long live Retro 375. I got nothing. It's just like, yeah. Nuh-uh. I have an evil idea that gets you a shirt made out of flocking. Oh.
Just the inside. The outside of the shirt looks perfectly normal, but just the inside is flocked.
Oh, my brain went to underwear and pants too. It's like,
so you're just bringing this all on your socks. Do you imagine socks?
No. You'd see a naked robo running through town trying to find other clothes.
It's minus 70 degrees outside. Wear gloves to keep you warm, but the inside is flocked.
Oh, you know what though? In a pinch, you could turn it inside out, and I'd be flocked on the outside. Just trying to get through town, find other clothes. You know what? That's been on my YouTube all week, but I did watch what was the cartoon? Not Renegades,
last week.
Yeah. I did watch that last week. Resolute. Yeah.
I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's on my list.
Yes. Maybe that's why it's telling me to watch the movie.
You like this? Prove our algorithm correct.
We just put Robo in a room in which the only way he can leave is to turn a flock doorknob, like in a bathroom. And then the shower is that hairy shower from that commercial.
Oh.
See, gotcha. I got you.
Well,
Yep, that's why I watched it. So what was next? It's not on screen. I can look.
Next is
TMNT.
Turtles, right?
TMNT. Yep.
TMNT.
TMNT.
And here we go now. All right.
Okay. I did put this on the Fwoosh forums a couple of weeks ago as wanting, especially after that interview you did where they were talking about getting more into comics and stuff like that.
Comics, hopefully in general for Turtles.
Yeah. Because when I heard that, I started looking through pictures and stuff, and I thought I had a flash of memory. So I went looking, and I guess I read a lot more of the Archie comics than I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember a single storyline.
But Archie was definitely more of my time. The Mirage stuff was before me for the most part, right? Yeah.
And here, I don't remember reading the Mirage stuff. It was just the cartoon and then the Archie comics.
I didn't read Mirage stuff until I was like in college.
Oh, so you went back. See, I'm trying to remember.
Because it was way before me, and then I was out of the game for a while, and then, yeah.
Because a lot of this was junior high, whenever it was first hitting, middle school, junior high. But there's an image that sticks in my head.
It's very much elementary school.
There's an image that sticks in my head because being older, but still, watching the cartoons and stuff because whatever.
Yeah.
There's an image of a badass character in a badass costume. At least I thought at the time. Thinking back now, it's kind of silly, but you can't get cooler. Well, you can get cooler. If it was Donatello, it would have been cooler. But it is Raph in his black wrestler costume from the Archie comics.
And if they get to Archie, which, oh my God, I hope they do. This is just an easy jump in too.
And actually, I'd go for the whole wrestling group.
Right?
Oh, yeah. But I think Raph actually wore this costume longer than this arc.
He did.
In his ninja costume.
Yeah.
Because how long did it? Because I remember when I was researching this, they were running around in the sewers, and the rest of them were back to their regular costumes. Raph still ran in this.
Yeah. And the wrestling thing is ridiculous. I even as like a younger kid and having a little exposure to it, it was like, what is going on here? But now I have a big time appreciation, and that is a false statement.
Damn it, Kevin. But I would buy this Raph all day.
Yep.
All day.
And if I was going to have that Raph, then I'm with you. I'm going to have the rest of them, because let's face it, I think with comics, with NECA, as they're saying, coming back to comics, I think a lot of that is going to hopefully be different iterations of the Turtles, different artist stylings of the Turtles. And this fits that perfect.
See, it took me longer than the colors. Well, not so much on Raph, obviously, and maybe not Leo, but I think it's Mikey whose colors change kind of panel to panel or book to book during this. I think sometimes his mask is yellow or red.
Yeah. Red. Yeah.
So I was thinking that was Raph, and I couldn't remember who was actually wearing the ninja suit or the black suit.
Yeah.
Was Donnie in red? Donnie is in the kind of red mask, yellow.
And yellow. It was that was kind of cool because it was like he had yellow pads too, I think, which was like yellow seemed like the next color for a turtle or something,
Right.
Yeah. And if they, I don't know how they're necessarily going to be handling, because all of their comic figures so far have had representation in the sculpting and the paint that is reflective of what things look like in the comic panels. So looking at this Raph, it's not like, if they were to make this Raph, it's not like he's just going to be painted black completely. He's going to have that cool blue highlighting on him, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's exactly how I would want it.
Yeah.
I'm not well, especially at first, whenever we first started seeing that, I wasn't a huge fan of artificial lighting on the figures. Mm-hmm. or the pixelation or stuff like that. But it's slowly that's a NECA figure. It's on there, you know.
Yeah.
It's just the norm now. It's the standard. So I have no problem with it anymore. And I would, give me some not light blue, but blue highlights on a black body, and I'm good.
Yep. It's straightforward, but interesting. It's a strange design choice or whatever, however they did it, but it would stand out on the shelf. And like I said, this group, if they get into this, I mean, this was a big, important, or memorable part of the Archie run, so it should be there.
And it was 80s, right? I mean, it was late 80s.
Yeah.
I should probably look that up whenever I was just looking for pictures, and when I saw pictures
about that stuff,
yeah,
that's a solid choice, because at first I would be, thinking, going with the main character is kind of, sometimes you don't want to do that when you make a list like this, but this is very worthy.
I did have that thought of, because there for a long time it was just, you get the 4 turtles, maybe a bad guy, move on to the next iteration. Here's your 4 turtles, couple of bad guys, side character, start over. Here's the new cartoon, 4 turtles. But it seems like the past couple of years, the turtles almost aren't out there as much as the other characters.
With you.
So
you're right.
So when I thought about it that way, it was like, no. I'm going to go for more turtles just because.
Well, and if let's just say, if NECA has the ability, like from a licensing perspective, right, to really get into Mirage and maybe Archie and other things, the different artists' representation of the turtles, that is, to me, is still going to be so cool, and that is what's going to keep the turtles out there and fresh while they do the other characters.
It's kind of the problem other lines run into. Is you've got to have main characters out there, and sometimes they run out of they run out of versions to get out there.
But damn it, man, I mean, I consider the comic turtles that we have, I call those layered turtles, right? Because I think they look like his art more. Give me Eastman, give me Dooley, give me all of these guys, Michael.
And NECA has the track record now that if they do something like this, they're going to give us some characters from that run or to go with them. There's going to be, because that was the big fear for a long time, was I'm not buying another group of turtles because there's nothing to go with them.
Yeah.
But I think NECA at this point, they have a track record.
Yeah. And I don't think this stuff's going away, especially because there's so much. I mean, people talk about, the cartoon line is going to sputter out. I don't think it is. I think there's a lot to do there too. And I was thinking about NECA and Super 7 the other day, and it's like, man, if they are able to work out the licensing piece of it or whatnot, how cool would it be, even for the NECA cartoon line, to get to characters that were never in the cartoon style, do some designing of that, or Super 7 characters that never had vintage figures, and do those in the vintage. Oh man,
there's lots. It feels like the floodgates have been open for a bit as a casual turtles collector, like me, but there's still so much to be done.
Yeah.
What did I just see? Even the Jim Lee TMNT Vs?
No.
Damn you. Because
nice try. Thanks, Shy.
Those are on my list too, with modern articulation and sculpting, and I'd put those next to the Jim Lee X-Men.
I was gonna say you're gonna get me going on my rant about Jim Lee being a hell of a draftsman, not a designer.
You'd buy a Jim Lee Donatello.
I mean, Turtles is kind of like Turtles is like He-Man with me. Is that I have things, and I'm going to have things on my shelf that I don't like, but because it's Turtles, having representation of it historically, I guess, to the overall property, sometimes that gets me. So
you can appreciate it on some level.
Yeah.
Damn, that was very.
Those are rough. Those are rough.
Okay, I'm gonna click off. There we go.
Okay.
Hide it behind. Yep.
Okay. So to give a little bit away, we had talked about doing this obviously this week, and you had mentioned that Raph. I was like, man, that's a good choice. And my mind clicked through a ton of stuff when it came to the turtle stuff, because to your point, if we're going crazy with comics, I don't even know where to begin. It's like, if Archie is on the table, I mean, I feel like I'd be diving off the deep end here, because it's like, could that possibly mean like Mutanimals or something like that too? It's like, do I want to throw that whole team up there? I mean, after Donatello, Ray Fillet is my favorite TMNT character. Maybe, oh goodness. But since you went with the Archie way, I was like, okay, yes, we want Archie, and that's a good representation here. So then my mind clicked back over to Super 7. And I was like, man, they're just bringing it with like the unique characters and the weird ones and the late line guys that you wouldn't have expected them to even get to. So my next most wanted from Super 7 is probably Hothead the Dragon. But I started thinking, I was like, that's starting to feel like it's going to happen. I mean, he has one of the coolest vintage designs. The Four Horsemen do the sculpting, and you know them in dragons. So I was like, oh. So strangely enough, I landed back with NECA with their cartoon line. And this is the only pick that I'm kind of cheating, because I feel like I want to talk about this and get them out there more. I am choosing the rest of Rocksteady's gang. Once they announced via Loot Crate that they were going to make Scrag, I couldn't believe it. But then I was like, Grunt, Dumbo, and Dopey have to get done now. The same way that they were done, that they did with Scrag, to give them swappable pieces. And I get it, Grunt, the lizard one, would be a little bit more difficult. He'd need more parts because he doesn't have a shirt. But these guys are like the ultimate cantina aliens of TMNT, and
right.
Having them in the background of the shelf with Scrag, being able to have them in both forms. And that would just mean that when we need Rocksteady and Bebop in their human form too, I feel like these guys are a longer shot than some of the other stuff that I would have put in this spot, which is kind of why I picked them. Right.
And you naming them, I didn't even know they had names.
Yeah.
I didn't like I said, the cartoon, as it got on, I was in junior high. I don't remember the later episodes near as much.
Well, and that's probably a good thing, because I love Turtles and I love that cartoon as much as anybody, but it got rough. But that first season, those first 5 episodes, to me, I think are brilliant. And these guys being there.
Okay, these were in the first 5 episodes?
Yes.
Okay, I guess I don't even remember the first 5 episodes.
And that's the thing. These guys being in those first 5 episodes as a part of a gang, a group, I felt as a kid so cheated that we didn't get to see the rest of them mutate. They should have been with Bebop and Rocksteady as Shredder's gang from then on out. It should have been 5 or 6, and not 2.
The
And
two,
so there's always been like this mystery, like what the hell happened to these guys? Where are they, and why were they not in the cartoon more?
but you got to think if they're making Scrag, surely they'll go with a lizard. Now you already said you want them in human form and mutated form, but if you had to make a choice, I mean, if it, like you said, the lizard would require a bit more tooling and stuff.
Mhm.
So would you want to go human first, or would you want to go mutant?
Oh man.
I cut it down. I got to throw you the hardball question since you picked a group.
So yeah, no, that's good though. So
Even though, hey, I picked a group too, kind of. I want Raph, but
well, so I'll say this: they did more in the short time that they were on screen in their human form. Right?
oh, gotcha.
They did more in their human form, but I'm going to go with mutant because when we're talking about a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line, if I have to choose between human form or mutant form, I'm going with mutant form because it's more interesting. It's cooler.
Right. Even though that gang standing there doesn't, it looks like pretty much every movie from the 80s that wanted to show some
Yeah.
kind of gang, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I just, and don't get me wrong, if I bought 2 Scrags so I could display him both ways because the fingers are crossed that we're going to get Bebop and Rocksteady in human form. And then maybe, the other 3, as you said, having that plastic representation as that whole group in their human form, that'd be freaking awesome too. And then as their mutant forms, then I can go off and play the adventures that I feel like I got cheated out of in the cartoon.
Oh, the slap in the face that was your childhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
So
Mutants for sure. Oh, they look like cops figs. That does actually kind of fit the style
yeah.
a bit.
It's like Buttons McBoom Boom. Send them out to.
Misdemeanor, back them up.
Yeah.
That's the only. I don't remember cops as much as other shows.
Yeah,
but
I don't either. Unfortunately, I think
I'll
I
remember
remember.
misdemeanor forever though.
I think I remember the commercials for the toys for cops more than anything else for cops. I don't know why.
I remember that cartoon fighting crime
In
in
a
a future time.
Yeah. But
But
I
I
always
get-
remember.
yeah.
I always remember Buttons McBoom Boom because wasn't he the one that had the caps in the back? I don't know. I'm.
Oh,
Maybe.
caps.
Yeah.
Childhood.
But I just think that when you have the opportunity to do more mutants, and like I said, if you want to wipe the slate clean and get rid of all of that 87 cartoon except for the first 5 episodes, it's always been to me when NECA started making these figures that those first 5 episodes should be the priority because it just stands out as the best work of that time. These guys are a part of it, so I need them.
And you've been talking about that for a while. If I were to go back and watch any of the cartoons, just go back and watch the first 5 episodes, and I still haven't done it.
The animation is better. The writing is better. I mean, it's one of those, it wasn't a bait and switch type of thing, but I mean, they went full, they got away from, I guess, maybe the more serious tone of the first. I mean, it's a Turtles cartoon, so it's not like, it's not like a Lars von Trier type of material here, but still, it's more, watch them. It's only what, 2.5 hours, less than that.
Wait, really? 5 episodes?
Yeah, 22 minutes. Yeah, so it's not even that long. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. You know what? We're doing the 5 toy lines, and then we have a bonus round at the end of toy lines we'd like to see from property, and cops was on my list somewhere. Yeah. So
well, Fresh Monkey Fiction is doing now painted Keshi cops figures you can buy from Big Bad Toy Store, but that's all that's as far as an update as we've gotten, I guess.
Maybe that's testing waters. See how they're selling stuff. And cops was on my list, even though I just said I don't remember a lot about the cartoon. But good designs are good designs.
Cool designs, right?
Yeah. Cool toys are cool toys. I can't help myself.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I want these guys desperately. Like I said, I'm cheating because I'm going with more than one pick, and I feel like of all the things that I would have chosen for this, these need the most like yelling about, right?
See, this was another situation where we're kind of on the same brainwave where we both went with group, kinda for the turtles. If you had to pick, since I picked one, even though I'd go for the whole group, if you had to pick one here,
I'd go with Grunt, who is the mohawk guy without a shirt who turns into the lizard dude.
okay,
Because it's a big lizard dude with a mohawk, or it's a shrew with a hat, or a little dog dude. So I'm going with the lizard with the mohawk.
a shrew with a hat, huh?
Yeah, I've
Oh,
the original like treatments or scripts or whatever for those episodes have the character names and their mutations noted in them. And Grunt is the lizard. Dopey is the guy, the skinny guy with the puffy gray hat that is a shrew. And then
okay.
Bozo is the real short dude who is a dog.
I would have went with Dopey for the dog. I guess that's just the feeling I get from the dog face.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Still good picks though. Cartoon is outside my realm of what I would buy, but I'd still like to see them on the shelf because that's what I window shop a lot of that stuff. Just like, oh, that's cool.
Well,
Do you
and
need this?
at the end of the day, because we're gonna switch gears here into your thing. Right now, Turtles is my thing. So it's like,
And that's exactly
I'm
where I
gonna
was.
take all of it.
That's where I was going with that, because we both have our lines where it's not so much. Because you've already said several times that MCU, you don't buy Marvel, you don't buy every Marvel Legends figure.
Right.
Do you buy every Star Wars figure? Do you pass on some, like the GameStop stuff, maybe?
A lot of the gaming great stuff I do, and I will say that I've dialed back army building a lot in Star Wars too. But like unique canon character, like movie canon characters and stuff like that, I don't skip any of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
because that's what you enjoy. Same way I do Turtles. I like some of the older. I guess live action would be the first movie at least.
yeah.
It would be my favorite, and then it goes in spurts down that thing. So, but with Star Wars, we're gonna start out with you to see what you chose.
So Star Wars, I kind of went through the thought process of this, and it was almost as complicated as the turtle thought process. It took me a while to get here. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, sorry, I was.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this because let's face it, there is so much to do with Star Wars. So many original trilogy characters, so many prequel trilogy characters that I want, new media, current media stuff that I want. Don't even get me started on going through every single damn character in Rogue One that doesn't have a figure yet. It's like, I want all of these characters. And so it was overwhelming to think about it for a second. So I had to make it easier on myself, and I started thinking about, well, what have I gotten this past year or whatever or recently, and what haven't I gotten? And I started thinking about, I might get burned for this or whatever, but I really do think that some of the best Black Series figures that they have put out recently are their Ewoks. And I can't believe, with that essentially a base body that can be used a lot of, we're not seeing more of them modified or whatever to make taller and shorter. So I love Peplu and who's the other one we have?
Logray and
Look,
Chirpa. Oh,
Logray.
who we have? Tebow?
Yeah, who we have. We have Peplu and
I thought we were just naming Ewoks. Tebow.
Huh?
Tebow.
Tebow. Yeah, Tebow. Yeah. I had to go with Wicket.
Now, Wicket, you were talking about reuse and all that. Wicket would be Wicket would be a unique base that I don't think could be used a lot with other.
Well, Yeah, but if they're gonna have a unique Ewok, it should be Wicket, right?
Exactly.
And so to riff on that even more is that he is the hero Ewok. He's the most important Ewok. I've said this before, but I'll say it again, and I was not alive for the first 2 Star Wars movie releases, and then I was so little when Jedi came out that the Ewok movie was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw. So if I can blend in a little bit of important nostalgia into this, it makes sense for Wicket, but it really is. He's an important character, and the Ewok figures are freaking awesome. So give us more of them, and if you're gonna give us more of them, let's start with Wicket.
Now, Wicket being as small as he is, do you picture it as a single release or a box set or a 2-pack or something? Because we know the obvious answer. What would happen if we got Wicket?
You want me to get snarky about what they're charging for some single releases, right?
but I feel like Wicket's even smaller than like the jaw. Well, okay, never mind. We got Yoda single.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'll be about that size, maybe slightly.
Yeah.
But man, a box set would be awesome.
Yeah. Him with Sindel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. Ewoks are polarizing, or they used to be polarizing, or they're not nearly as polarizing as like every other Star Wars decision that has been made over the past few years. So, but I get it that there are people that don't like the Ewoks, but I have never in my life had an issue with them, and my history with Star Wars and when I came into it may be part of that. But still, I mean, even if you're not a fan of the Ewoks, I think it's hard to deny how good those Black Series figures have been.
Plus, it almost seemed like they were building up to that at some point with all the indoor stuff we got in very short time, it seems like.
Yeah.
Indoor Han, Luke, Leia, Tebow, Paploo, speeder bikes.
Yeah.
General Lando.
Well, and the Paploo, Leia, and Luke speeder bike set from whatever exclusive that was, that made my top 20 list of this past year because it's great, and Paploo is a big part of it.
Right. Now, if they, I was about to say they could have stuck Wicket there, but I like that they went with Paploo. Wicket's got to be coming at some point. Plus, now we've already seen a prototype for an SH Figure Arts, right?
Well, and thinking about this, I was like, I'm probably coming early to this because they may be holding on to him because next year would be
40,
yep, right? Yeah. They
did some Empire stuff. It was a lot of reissue, but I don't know what's going on with Bandai either. You don't know what they're going to do month to month, year to year.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like, there are a million figures from Mando and Boba Fett, and I know there's going to be more from Andor and especially Obi-Wan that I'm going to want. I feel like those don't need to be.
Yeah, because it was hard. Was it hard not to choose Chrysanthemum for this?
It was. But I caught myself on that with recency bias. Now that said, holy shit, I want to figure
exactly. All new sculpt.
Yeah. Which they could, I think it was Matt Kay who, said it, and he's totally right. They could go back and use that sculpt for oh God, what's his name from episode 3 who's with Chewie? The bigger Wookiee. Tarful?
No. Tarful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I nearly went Tarples. I was like, no, that's Tarples. That's
that's
was it Tarful? Yeah.
Tarful, yeah. So they could use that, or I would think parts of that there, right? Because he was much bigger than Chewie.
Right. I want to. Here's this. I want to see a new story of Ewoks being the ferocious, bloodthirsty, human-eating creatures they were meant to be. That's what they are. Where do
Yeah.
you think they got Leia's dress?
That's a 5-minute short in between when the Death Star blows up and they celebrate it because they ate them stormtroopers.
Yeah. They're trying to trap meat-eating character. Yeah, that's what they are.
Yep.
They just didn't show it on screen.
Yeah.
They were cooking Han before Goldenrod bailed him out.
But yeah, I'm going with my boy Wicket. I don't have any consternation about that because I don't have anything against the Ewoks. Ewok movie was my first venture into Star Wars. The Ewok Black Series figures are great, and so let's have it.
Wicket W. Warwick.
Plus Warwick Davis is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I would buy the hell out of this. I think I've bought a couple of Tebows for customs and changing up, or well, eventually planning to make other Ewoks just in case they don't decide to make any.
Well, the way that they're going. Oh.
But for my pick, like I said, it was hard not to go with Chrysanthemum or some newer character that's right in my face right now. And even then, we need to click off, don't we? Right here. I got my number one pick that I've been wanting for years already this year or last year. I got to mark this one off my list.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, who am I going to go with? Another character.
But before you say this, I will say that this was the most surprising choice out of the whole list for me.
Oh, my pick? Mm-hmm. Or two pick? I went so many directions. I want Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yeah.
I want him in his with separate Outlander gear with the big hat and stuff.
I want all those Jedi. Yeah, and that's what I went through too. It's like I want all those Jedi. I want all those characters from Rogue One. It's like, how do you pick?
Well, because I will buy anybody.
Yeah.
Give me a Star Wars character, I'd buy anybody.
Yeah.
Even if they have colorful Vespas on another planet. I want them. Right? In plastic form.
That's the neutrinos coming to the Star Wars universe.
That's right. And then I started thinking from a toy aspect, what would I like to see? Some change up in engineering, some creative articulation, maybe a stand, maybe a multi-pack, maybe a 2-pack, maybe with a ship. And I had to go with it when I started thinking in those terms.
Now before you pull it up here, I want everybody in chat to be honest, because if somebody says that you saw this coming, I'm going to call you out.
Because, I'll take a 9 gnome. 9 gnome?
Look, it's 9 gnome.
Neen Noon.
That was a kid down the street. Neen gnome.
Neen gnome. Conehead Jedi.
Yeah.
Yep. Robo wants articulation. Meanwhile, settle for some articulation. Son of a bitch.
Holy shit.
He got it. Well, I was kind of narrowing the field as I went, but yeah. I need a Sebulba.
Yeah, Fwoosh, no prize.
Yeah, that was a good call.
All right, Derek, man. Wow.
But this opens up. Well, one, it would be a pain in the ass to stand. I don't remember how they worked the 3 3/4 inch one. Did it have a stand or some kind of thing to help? But this would be a pain in the ass to keep on the shelf. But it wouldn't be if we got a pod racer to go along with it, But admittedly, Sebulba's pod racer is huge.
Yeah.
And would be huge in 1/12 scale.
Yeah, I think if part of it is ginormous.
If we were to get any pod racer, it would be Anakin's.
Right.
Which is a good call because that's
we still need an episode 1 Anakin.
Exactly. So do that. You can pop it apart. It's a smaller box with the turbines. But I want Sebulba because, he was kind of an asshole in episode 1. Yeah. He beat up on Jar Jar a little bit.
Yeah.
He episode 1. Actually, I went from Aura Singh to Sebulba as my most wanted.
Which that was her only canon appearance until Clone Wars, right?
hmm
Yeah.
But this is my top pick for today. It may change tomorrow. It may change next week, and that'll change on top of that. It just I don't know. It would make for an interesting toy.
I was surprised by the character choice first, but if I'm sitting over here talking about I like Wicket as a character, but also the figures of the Ewoks so far have been really cool. This fits right into that in terms of it's not just a dude.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I kind of because if it came down to it, if they never give me a Kiadi Mundi, I can get a cast head, and I've got cast heads that I haven't painted yet.
I
to
know
make
you
it custom. And I guarantee somebody has 3D printed a Sebulba. But as far as a fully functional, well, I guess you could, I'm sure the custom's fully functional and everything. This is harder to do just on the fly than a human character or a person.
Well, and it's his confusing hands and feet too.
It's odd, isn't it? You look at pictures and
it's like your hands are on your legs, sir.
Yeah. But then I think when he's sitting in the pod racer, he's using all 4 limbs to drive and stuff. It's crazy.
But that whole discussion there, it's one of those, we need more aliens in Star Wars in general, but I also like the swerving of the assumption that aliens are most aliens are mostly humanoid. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's visual, it's engineering, articulation, stability. I'm just going full toy aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, and he could come with a pile. He could come with maybe one of those abandoned piles of poodoo that the Rancor didn't have.
Well, in fact, it'd be hard to package. When I was looking for pictures, which is kind of hard to find full body Sebulba pictures like this. That's why somebody's used a little artwork to it. But I saw the 3 3/4 inch, and he actually had his shoulder legs up in the package and his leg arms or his hip arms pointing down, and it was freaking me out.
Well, it's kind of like Max Rebo, right? Because weren't like the original sketches for that character, it was his legs that were coming up and playing the keys and not his hands.
And I think that's become a thing since he's popping back up. Or is that supposed to be Max, or is that somebody else?
I
assumed it's somebody else.
It was Max.
Oh, the new one is still Max?
I mean, dude's got to have work out there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I couldn't remember if he was on the sail barge.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought he was. Jason.
But so was Bib.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it had an escape skiff.
A skiff.
Yeah. If Sebulba wore shoes, would they be on his hands or feet?
This is like one of those if dogs wore pants questions, damn it.
Would they be on the front or back?
Oh. But yeah. It's an interesting choice, and I'm glad you picked it because it makes me think about and consider those things that you went through to get to a choice like this, because I don't think he would register in my top 20, maybe not even top 50 or 100, but it would be a figure that I would be all about getting because he's important, and also he would have to be a cool or at least unique figure.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's also, I don't know, I always get trapped within those confines of, well, what are they going to reuse it for?
Right.
But I can't do that when I'm just wish listing, you know.
Right.
It's hard not to go product manager with it. Or
yeah, it's not your responsibility to worry about those things as someone who wants to buy toys.
Exactly.
Right?
I just want a damn Sebulba. That's it. Boom.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good choice. I like it.
But again, if it's Star Wars, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Well, and that's I think that's your space where you are like the biggest fan, or you'd pretty much buy anything, that sometimes becomes the hardest one to choose for a list like that.
I think somebody did point out a minute ago that really thin limbs are tough with Black Series. And I think that's tough with a lot of Hasbro type stuff because they seem to have stricter restrictions on that kind of thing. Small pegs, parts pop off just in case kids get a hold of it.
Yeah, because they've got to get that 4-year-old certification or something on it. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, put them in a 2-pack with Watto.
Tut. Yeah. Or Annie.
Or Annie. Or Kitster.
Presto, Sebulba.
Because we'll never get a Kitster anywhere else.
I'm telling you, not to give anything away, but if you think the power vacuum on Tatooine is going anywhere but Kitster, you're wrong.
He's going to pop up and...
Now who is the mayor?
It was Kitster all along. How would we even put a Sebulba figure on a stand? Yeah, that's just some of the trials and tribulations of getting this figure.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because you can't do foot pegs, hand pegs. I don't know. That's not my problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as you said a minute ago.
It's being too far in it sometimes makes you like give considerations to things that as a fan you shouldn't have to.
Yeah. Not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I unabashedly want Sebulba.
Sebulba.
Are we sure Greedo's dead?
Han didn't shoot at all.
That's right. Greedo all along.
Anytime Greedo discharges his... Well, I was about ready to say that, and I'm not going to say that. Greedo just falls asleep after shooting his gun.
Okay. That's enough Star Wars. I've never said before. That just leaves the last picks, right? Marvel Legends? Yeah. Oh, well, no, we still have the after that.
Yeah, we have a bonus round because it's a little different than this. But yeah, I mean, it seemed like we should make Marvel last.
Yeah. Make mine Marvel.
Yeah. Last. Which is cool.
Oh, I get to go first here.
You do.
And I may have. Did you think I let it slip earlier? Because I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago too.
I mean, even if you didn't, I probably would have chosen this. Yeah. Well, I would have chosen this character, some X-Men character that I would be like, but
yeah. But you're down for this character, huh?
You bet.
Like I said, I gotta go with when there's a hometown boy or girl. I gotta go with them when it comes to superheroes or military guys or.
And could you imagine the team up?
No kidding, because I was reading that during the 50 state initiative, he was teamed up with Tigra as the Arkansas team, and even then, he turned out to be a Skrull. So, damn it! He came back and wanted the space though, and that would be Razorback.
Awesome.
Or Mutant Pumbaa.
Are you aching? Yep. For some bacon? Yep.
I mean, how can you not like a character whose mutant power is to be able to drive any vehicle in existence while wearing a green and yellow jumpsuit and a big pig on his head?
Yeah, I mean,
with an electrified ridge.
Yeah. There is nothing about what you just said that I don't love.
Yeah. And it's been a long time since I've seen him in a comic, but didn't he trucker speak 10-4, good buddy?
I think so. Yeah.
At least at one point he did, I think.
Yeah. And as ridiculous as the design is, I mean, if you think about it, it's not as complicated from an action figure realization standpoint that I'm giving consideration to, which we shouldn't have to.
Exactly, but still, it's hard not to.
Yeah,
it's just a big bulky body because I think he is 6'8", 6'9".
He's a big dude.
410 pounds. The only thing when it comes to action figure articulation is, that neck.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a lot of head movement unless you come up with something.
Yeah.
But man, Buford Hollis dons this gear, jumps in the big pig, heads to New York to save his sister Bobby Sue from a cult. Come on, story's right itself.
So this is me giving all due respect to your state, but Buford Hollis is the perfect guy from Arkansas comic book name. That's possible, I think.
Don't forget his sister Bobby Sue.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they have a Von DeMay that's their aunt or something, we're on.
And then he ends up in space.
Yeah.
And part of the Avengers Initiative. I mean,
again, there is nothing you are saying that I don't absolutely love.
Right. I did read that they made it a mutant power just to make fun of the trend at the time for everyone to have a mutant power.
Yeah.
And it just kind of stuck. But come on. That's a unique mutant power.
Yeah.
It works.
That's I love that mutant power exists, but if I'm putting myself in his shoes, I'm still kind of like, oh, that guy can't die or he can fly.
But I think it came down to it. I think it was She-Hulk, where they were in space and there was no way out unless he drove.
Again, I love everything about this.
Damn it. I nearly talked myself out of my own pick there first.
We can't get out of space unless this guy can drive.
Does anybody know how to drive this spaceship? Well, ma'am, that's a 10-4, good buddy.
I'm on it. Further than Buford Hollis.
There you go. Get her done. Oh, but I want it. I
love it. Me too.
It's a simple design. I would like to see a modern rendition of this through an astonishing filter of some kind, maybe. But I can't help putting them in overalls for some reason.
Well, I was going to say, if I'm getting a Marvel Legends figure, it needs to look like that.
And I think that was the Big Pig 3. I think he ended up staying in space for a while and flying the spaceship around. There we go. I got soul, brother.
Yeah.
To come around.
Yeah. And then, as you said, his team up with Chuckles would be amazing. We can start writing the fan fiction now.
Yeah. Plus, man, you can't help just going, woo, pig. Woo, pig.
I have never uttered that in my life, but I might just do it now.
What? Oh, well, you're just a state away. Surely you've heard that on some kind of football. I don't know football, but that's been ingrained in the membrane since I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that's true. Oh, man.
That's how has no high school football team, well, a college team kind of took it. Arkansas.
Well, I mean, that's why he's from Arkansas, right? I mean,
right. Razorback.
Yeah. But
that'll do, pig. That'll do.
They pat him on the shoulder after he pilots the spaceship.
That's right. You're an honorary Avenger now, Buford.
I love it.
Oh, you nearly made me read that out loud, and that was going to become a discussion. We're not going to do it. Oh my God, Michael Cudlitz has to play Razorback. That's perfect.
Wow. I'll take it. MCU that.
MCU Razorback.
Hey, She-Hulk series getting ready to start.
Exactly. And I think even though he was like first appearance Spider-Man, that it was mostly She-Hulk was most of his adventure.
Man. Yes. Good choice.
I know. Your choice can only pale in comparison.
Oh, it's going to for sure. Okay. Well, if we're going to shift to that, this is another one where I went back and forth for a long time because I was ready to go with, all right, I'm going to be super predictable and go with Dr. Bong. And I do want a Dr. Bong. And after talking about Razorback, it's like we need Razorback and Dr. Bong together or whatnot. I do want Dr. Bong, but in seriousness for Marvel Legends is that I am getting more selective in what I collect from it. And comic characters are most important to me. Fantastic Four is my favorite corner of the Marvel universe, and Jack Kirby is my guy. I really hate that we don't have more of the characters that I want, but that's me being impatient, I guess, right? So, a couple of things. I was going to cheat and just go with the Inhumans here, right? But that's going with another team, and that's not fair. So I started thinking about, okay, well, who's the most important that needs a figure that doesn't have one yet? Because we have Black Bolt, and we have Medusa, not necessarily the versions that I want, but they're okay. So then my brain automatically goes to Crystal, and I want a Crystal figure badly, and that's an easy figure to make, right?
Too easy to wish list?
Yes. Well, maybe. It was really more of me just getting selfish that if I'm talking about an Inhuman, because I want the Inhumans more than anybody else, the Mezco Lockjaw cooled me on like my urgency for a Legends version. I'm going to go with the one that I think would be the best figure out of all of them. And I am going to pick Gorgon for that.
Gorgon.
Yeah.
Gorgon. Because you also, even though we've talked about coming at it from a, design element, there's hooves, right?
Right.
His hooves knock him up the list a little bit?
Well, because we've got the Rintra build a figure has hooves. And when I saw those, I was like, the first thing that popped in my head is Gorgon. Because I think when I was like really young and like reading comics, that's his look. I would be okay if they went with the boot version of him, but from an action figure standpoint, the hooves would probably just be more interesting, and they're out there now, so I would be totally cool with that. But the Inhumans are awesome. Their designs are cool, and I think he's the most interesting to me out of the group, especially the ones that we don't have.
Right, the big bulkiness. I feel like they've gotten an unfair disadvantage the past couple of years because of the TV show. I feel like they were backburnered a bit.
I think it's the TV show that did it, which sucks a little bit. But also, I think it's people make unfair comparisons to them as X-Men with the X-Men too, which is...
Well, didn't they... When the X-Men were kind of off limits, didn't they push Inhumans as the...
Yeah,
that sort, and plus there was the huge crossover. I thought too, Kings War.
Yeah,
Kings,
it was just crappy. I'm like, I need that classic like Fantastic Four Inhuman type of thing, and it seems. I mean, I guess for the reasons that you just gave is part of the big reason why maybe we don't have more. But it just seems criminal at this point that there aren't.
But at the same time, that may be a way to market it back into toy lines is through X-Men waves. If they're going to do kind of a War of Kings or Outer Space, Shi'ar, Inhumans.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, thinking about them though, because I think Gorgon is really the one who needs the most tooling. Right. If they do a classic, if they go back and redo a classic Medusa, she's going to need a new hair, and that would be a big chunk, right? But Crystal, easy. Karnak, easy. Triton, if they went with, I wouldn't be like super happy about it, but they could probably get away with using like the Green Goblin scale body,
Okay.
or at least
Right.
the limbs, right? So that
Hmm.
cuts back on that. Black Bolt, if they did a new one, like maybe on that new base body that they're talking about, I mean that's easy. Gorgon is really the one that needs more tooling, and now that we have hooves, I feel like that's a step in the right direction.
Well, on top of that too, you originally sent me a picture that was a bit older school than this
Yeah,
one, and
yeah,
I say with kind of the boots,
hmm,
less collar, more headdress,
yeah,
and well, Kirby,
yeah.
and
That's
and
my
then
default.
I queued up this picture too along with it, and you like this one better because of the hooves, but you wouldn't say no to some kind of mix without the collar and uh
Nah,
and you wouldn't say no to boots, right? If it came down
no,
to it.
nope.
And
I wouldn't. I went with this simply because if 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 hooves are out there and they make a Gorgon, it's just let's use the hooves
that's true.
because they're cool.
Damn it. You're not a product manager.
Yeah, right, right, right. Um, so yeah, I mean, he's repping the whole team. I'm hoping that you know, I love the Fantastic Four retro line. Um, I think it's the best retro line that they've done so far from like a packaging design and everything standpoint. I mean, he was a part of that. It could be cool to see him and Triton brought in there because what Karnak and Crystal didn't make it into that line. So, but yeah,
You're talking about that. See, I don't know a lot about you're talking about the 90s toy line.
hmm, hmm.
So Gorgon and Triton were
Gorgon, Triton, Black Bolt, and Medusa all made it into the
okay.
Fantastic Four line in the 90s. Yeah.
And as far as Crystal goes, you got to think they're building up to some kind of riders or pack with Lockjaw, right? Or a deluxe pack or something.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. And you know, she would just really be a new head on a body that already exists and let everything else go to Lockjaw, right? But yeah.
Oh, Crystal would look amazing on the retro card though. That yellow against the blue just
Yep.
popping.
Yep. Yeah. I I don't know. I'm hoping I didn't put a lot of hope in getting the Inhumans for so long because I always just assumed they were caught up in the whole Fantastic Four piece, which was something that was quote unquote off limits. I've never I've never had the opportunity to have that whole team together, and it's one of my favorites, and I would really like to have them in Marvel Legends.
I'd be down too because it's not high on my list, right? But it's always been a visually interesting team, and their
Right.
powers and oh, Bolt can't talk and
I mean, if we got a classic Black Bolt, which would to me, it's really more going to that blue and then like the teal where they went to silver on him for the more modern figures. Give Medusa the lighter purple ish and whatever outfit with a cooler hair sculpt, right? Than what we've got. And then the rest of them, I mean, it's a cool ass looking team.
for Medusa, you think they should finally break down and just make the hair the base and the figure hanging off of it, have it so big and then out that she's floating above?
It would be an interesting thing. Now, this may be getting into, line manager, how the hell would we do this at a price point? But if they did it so that like her hair had some articulation or something to it, maybe like halfway down you could pop it off and switch it for a shorter piece that's just hair that hangs, and the other piece that you could swap in would be like the base that she could be up on, right?
Because I think you run into the top heavy. I think that's the biggest determining factor when it comes to a Medusa figure is how heavy do you want to make it
Yeah.
on the top of her head
Right.
to where it affects, because you already have a little trouble standing female Marvel Legends figures.
Yeah.
So, and then just adding on top of it, because you have Megan,
Mm-hmm.
she's still standing.
Yeah.
Mine too, but getting her into a standing or an action pose does take some extra TLC.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
I
and then
mean,
Medusa gets bigger than that. I don't know.
right.
I it comes down to I almost want the hair with a Medusa accessory
Yeah.
just to have on the shelf.
I'm trying to.
Are you searching for pictures?
Well, I'm just trying to visualize it. I mean, it would
Build a
be
hair.
cool if it'd be cool if they did it like the retro figure, right?
I don't remember the retro.
So the figure had hair, but then it had a base of hair that connected to it as well.
Oh, okay. Where it just kind of plugged in, kind of a.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then
Mm,
it's a base of hair then, and it kind of
yeah.
goes on the back. It kind of attached to the back of her.
See, I'd be down.
Yeah.
Oh, Emma Frost. Yeah, I do keep having trouble with the box set Emma Frost from the Hellfire.
Yeah. Those damn
But
heels.
hooves are standable, right?
Yeah.
You do kind of run into a center of balance type
Yeah.
thing with these, but hopefully with the D10s and well, I guess we'll find out with Rintraw, right?
Yeah. And that's a figure that I probably wouldn't have had any interest in probably owning, but I'm gonna get it just simply because I gotta back pocket it for parts if I ever really need it.
Just in
Right?
case.
Yeah, it sucks. It's a build a figure to have to do that, but you know.
Well, really, you just need the legs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mole Man, has Mole Man ever received a figure? I still use that Fantastic Four wave.
The Hasbro one, yeah.
Yeah, Hasbro.
Mhm.
It was
And you know what? I mean, I would take an updated Mole Man figure, but he's so far down on the list because I still do use that figure, and it's okay for a Mole Man for me.
mhm.
Um,
Don't put that evil out in the world. Come on now.
Could you imagine what that would look like? Oh, no.
Okay, so that brings us to a property that may or may not have had toy lines in the past, but you want the toy line now.
Right. So we for this list we picked characters, figures from lines that are already out there that we want to see into those lines, right? And they haven't been announced or anything, but we would like to see them in lines that already exist. For this kind of bonus choice, we're going with a figure line that does not exist out there, and I would like that we would like to maybe will into existence in some way, right? And I guess before we get into the actual pick, I'm going to ask you, did you struggle with this or did you have something right off hand? Okay.
My struggle is that I did have something right off hand that several, but doing the live streams and talking with people and everything, most of the chat is probably going to be able to guess what mine is. Well, I took that into consideration. Come back. My internet always knows when it's time to. You're pushing 2 hours, buddy. But I wanted to try to swerve, but I think I've talked about this one before. But it is a hard choice.
Yeah. I feel so spoiled. First and foremost, I feel so spoiled because so many of the things that maybe even a year ago or 2 years ago that I would be struggling to pick which one of them to be this choice, I don't have to pick it anymore because it's like it exists now, or you know. I feel silly about it a little bit, but I really had mine kind of down to like 3 picks, and that I really just had to go with. And then I got it down to 2, and it was a coin flip on here. And so the one that I didn't pick, to me, I think is the obvious one for me, was Mega Man, a classic Mega Man line, with all those robot masters. I have been banging that drum for years, and I'm going to continue to do it until somebody takes a chance on it. I didn't pick it for this simply because I almost feel tired right now. I'm not tired of it, but when you're kind of like wanting something for a long time, it's like, oh, I'm so like sad that this doesn't exist that I don't really want to talk about it right now. So I didn't go with that. Instead, I'm swinging around to a collector grade Sesame Street line. And when I say collector grade, I'm probably thinking Ultimates. And for Sesame Street, I'm thinking 70s and 80s when Sesame Street still had all those wacky characters and the street looked like a street in New York. It was grittier, it was grungier, it was this aesthetic, right? On here. And I'm going with Sesame Street because Jim Henson is one of my heroes. The Palisades Muppet line is one of the greatest lines that I have ever collected. One of the saddest things that's ever happened in collecting for me is when Palisades shuttered in the middle of the Muppet line, and right as they were getting ready to start a Sesame Street line. And I feel like Ultimates could be a spiritual successor to that, with the accessories and the details and whatnot. And yes, I want Bert and Ernie. I want the Count. I want the main characters from that era. But man, I want Forgetful Jones. I want Sherlock Hemlock, Don Music, Guy Smiley. These guys that aren't around as much anymore. And to me, that fits into like that Super 7 kind of way of doing things. And even like Brian Flynn specifically from an era like that. I'd get selfish and say that I would love them to fit in with the Palisades figures from a size standpoint, which those might run a little small for typical Ultimates figures, but gauging how large they're going with their Disney stuff, it might work. I think that Super 7 would be the company that would give them that stippled felt texture that they absolutely should have, that the Palisades, that's one of the biggest things that I don't like about, aside from them being way too small. The Diamond Select Muppet ones, they don't have that, and they feel unfinished for that. So I feel like if any line is going to be able to capture some of that same magic that Palisades had with Muppets for Sesame Street, which may be even more important to me than Muppets is, it's going to be Ultimate Sesame Street.
See, I thought it was announced at some point that Sesame Street was coming, but that was during the whole Palisades thing, right? That was
and they had,
did they show something?
Oh yeah, they had prototypes. They had Wave 1 like in production or like very almost ready to flip, like factory samples of, and they're gorgeous. They're perfect. But I want the look and the characters and whatnot from that 70s and 80s time frame, and I think that it would be a really fun and colorful line. And it's one of those things that it's like, we've never had collector grade Sesame Street figures, so it'd be really cool.
You started naming off other characters from Sesame Street, and this is my time right here, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't remember the names of the other characters like that. I just remember the main cast. And
but even if, I think if you looked up like Sherlock Hemlock or, you know, the Honkers or the yip aliens, you know, that's awesome.
that a memory would whoosh, shoot back into my brain. I'm sure it would. Yeah. Maybe it's been 40 years on that I can't remember stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because what's the dog's name?
Barkley.
Barkley?
Yep.
Yep.
And it's just like I said, I want Mega Man and those Robot Masters so bad. It's like I can visualize them and I can plan the whole line. But this is one that it's like, these would be so much fun. It would be for probably the most important property to my childhood, right? And yeah, I don't know. I think it would be really cool. And if they did make them compatible with those Palisades Muppets, oh man.
Because if not Super 7, you can't think of. I was trying to think of alternate. Because there's also the time thing with Super 7, that
Yeah.
how long it would take to build this many characters.
And it would take some time, but I think some people just default to Diamond Select because they're doing Muppets. Well, they're not owned by the same people anymore, or never were. Number one, and number two, for the reasons I already stated, they're too small and not having that texture and attention to detail that Palisades gave. That I think Super 7 would. I just think it's a better fit.
Jada Toys.
That could be interesting. I think so. That could be cool. I think they would be like any other companies where that if they did do a Sesame Street line, even if it was collector grade, it would probably be based off of modern or like style guide takes that exist right now. Right. I think Super 7 is the one that would be like, screw that. We grew up in the 70s and 80s. That's the Sesame Street that we want. So that's what we're going to do.
Right. And you keep saying, this is all I know, Sesame. I haven't seen anything more recent than this time frame, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like pre-Elmo Sesame Street, right?
Okay. You say that because I don't think I've seen Sesame Street with Elmo. I only know of Elmo because of the toys and clips.
Elmo did not. Elmo, I did not grow up with Elmo, right? And I don't necessarily have anything against Elmo except for him being like, it was only Elmo for a long time, and it feels like it pushed Grover to the back. But
what's crazy is I remember Electric Company more than.
Really?
I guess what it boils down to is I was never a big puppet person.
You weren't into the Muppets at all or anything?
No,
like that? Wow.
I remember watching Muppet Babies on Saturday mornings because you had to watch Muppet Babies to get to the rest of the cartoons. It was on in the morning.
Yeah.
I think I watched that more than anything. But yeah, puppets in general. And now that you said it, like the Yup puppets, did they like come across like this and their bodies kind of like went around the person's arm?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
There's an arm, but it was like a loose fitting puppet that just kind of swayed in the wind. Yep. I think that freaked me out.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I think I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, that's kind of scary. That's unnatural, even though it's a bunch of puppets running around.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Well, and it's easy to say, from the era that you grew up with or whatnot, but they had some crazy off the wall characters on Sesame Street back then. Like I said, I named some of them, but it's like they kind of faded into the background or into oblivion completely at this point. But that's why I think that if Super 7 or a company like them who are like, we're going to make stuff from when we want to make it from, that's how that stuff gets done. And that's the era that I grew up with Sesame Street.
Right. Because I keep wanting to go to, because it had the letter and the number of the day, right?
Oh, could you imagine? Each figure could come with one of those as an accessory.
Or a background of wait. Now I'm still mixing them up. Was that the two faces making noises, or was that Electric Company? Shh. It.
There's a lot that could be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it would be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them on your shelf. That's how I enjoy your Muppets, is on your shelf.
Yeah.
I never bought any. I wanted the Pop there was one that came with a popcorn machine that I never got.
Scooter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the movie theater Scooter where he was the theater ticket taker.
Right. And I remember that sitting in Toys R Us for a while, and I wanted to do an amusement park playset for Agent X. And, that never got off the ground.
Dang.
That was his base, was an amusement park.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Okay. Everyone says that's Electric Company. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, Electric Company is my pick. Welcome to even though I don't remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's Sesame Street, sir.
Wait, no.
Yeah.
That was Electric Company.
No.
Yes.
That was the pinball with the Pointer Sisters singing. That was Sesame Street.
Was it Sesame Street?
Yep.
Oh, 3, 2, 1 Contact Ultimates.
3, 2, 1 Contact.
Damn, I haven't thought about that in forever.
Yeah.
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 I'd like to see you get Sesame Street.
It would be fun.
Okay, they're saying it's Sesame Street. See, I can't trust my own childhood. I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting older.
Yeah, 100% Sesame. Yeah, because I didn't really watch. Electric Company was, I mean, that was definitely like the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Electric Company. All right, I get it. Veeves was right. There we go. See, yeah. And we're also talking 35, 40 years ago. Okay, so mine is kind of in that same vein. Well, actually, okay. I talked about there's a time. So you have to think about time when it comes to Super 7.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, I guess you have to have kind of that same. Will they ever finish the team? And how long will it take? With even though I picked a property that doesn't have a lot of main characters. Oh, well, I guess you could expand a lot with,
there could be some cool.
I didn't even think about that, but the company I went with too, it may take some time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people guessed what I was originally thinking and what I've talked about several times on live streams. There's Herculoids, there's Thundar.
Yeah.
There is Galaxy Rangers. There's Hanna-Barbera. Just all kinds.
Cops and Crooks.
Cops and Crooks. Is that what you said?
We were talking about them earlier.
Yeah. That was on the list a little bit. There was really, if it was a cartoon, I would probably be interested in action figures of it. So Mask, one of the few lines I would go back to 3 3/4 inch for.
Mask.
But I actually went with, and now that I say it, I think I've talked about this before in a top 5, maybe, or something. But I want to see some Mezco 1/12 Collective Scooby-Doo. And I didn't. Here's another consideration that I didn't think of whenever I thought of this, because my brain was like, oh, they could do this with cloth clothing. They could get, the bodies and stuff. And then you asked, would you do it in the more realistic Popeye scale or style?
Wow, yeah.
And then I realized, well, damn, I would probably buy that too.
Yeah.
Because going with Mezco, Scooby would probably be the big hurdle.
Right.
The big speed bump, just being an animal.
But because with like the human characters, even, it's like if they had 2 heads, you could do an animated and a realistic one, right?
Yeah, and then it goes down to just body. Well, Shaggy has some skin showing.
I think you could make that work though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because jumping between realistic and cartoony, you get into the body proportions, the different shapes, that kind of thing. But then I didn't even consider it until I was building up to this. Was the ghosts?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And There was a toy line here a couple years ago when Toys R Us was closing, and then Walmart had it for a little bit too.
I remember we chased
Mhm.
that stuff around. Yeah.
Yeah. And those are okay, but I want action figures. I
Yeah.
want some 1/12 scale Scooby-Doo with the van and everything.
Ooh, ooh. Yeah.
Even though that van we got from Walmart recently was pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, it is.
I'd like something just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Don't ruin this for me, please.
Yeah, that Scooby-Doo movie van though, it was pretty close.
Yeah. I can fit. I fit GI Joe and Deadpool
Turtles,
in
yeah.
that. It
Yeah.
works. But and yeah, there was Mego too, wasn't there?
The Figures Toy Company or whatever recently, or kind of recently did those. Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
action figures though,
Yeah.
and this could go on for a while if they wanted to do like, start with Velma, and then go to a ghost, and then do Fred, and then go to a ghost, or
As much as I love those ghost designs, man, this
could you
feels
imagine
like
those in realistic?
this. Well, yeah, that would be really, really rad. But
Mhm.
the 5 characters on screen right now feels like a line size that is good for Mezco.
That's what I was coming back around to was yeah, here we got Velma and Fred released or on the schedule for this year, and then they don't come out till next year, and then they solicit Shaggy, and then it may be several years before we get a full team, but
Yeah.
damn it, I want
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, it'd be a lot of fun. Especially in that I think you could make it work with 2 different heads and have animated and realistic, and it would be wild.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this. I also thought about, just NECA or Super 7 or somebody, but I feel like the clothes here,
Hmm.
and I don't know,
I agree
cutting
with
them
you.
up for action figure articulation, like Velma's neck or Fred's shoulders,
Yeah.
uh, Shaggy's waist, Daphne's waist, leg articulation. I feel like going cloth.
Yeah.
Cloth is what I would prefer here.
I agree. Because like you said, I would be like, oh man, yeah, Scooby-Doo. It's easy to say, oh, Ultimates would be great, but I think I'm with you that 112 would be the best. Thinking, wow, they did 2 different heads, one in that realistic style. That's just too wild to pass up, right?
Yeah, it would be. Well, I don't know. I'd put him right with Popeye,
Mhm.
Batman.
The
Oh yeah,
Warriors.
because have they shown? Yeah, they have. They've shown a 60s, 70s style Batman Mezco. That would be
I
awesome to go along with this.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's it's surprising.
Nosferatu. Huh?
I was gonna say it's surprising that they haven't gone there since they have relation to the license in some way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's been a while, but yeah,
Well, and those Living Dead dolls, yeah.
yeah. Nosferatu, yeah, it was kind of a cluster, but it seemed they were getting better before that. I don't know if it was the midnight or
Well,
what was
I
going
don't
on
think
there.
you'd make something like this exclusive, right?
No, no, this
So
would be yeah, like a get out to all the online shops.
yeah.
Oh, it's Speed Buggy. Damn you.
It was like, hey, it's the Scooby-Doo guys, kinda. It's like their Bizarro versions or something. Mirror.
I think somebody just said they announced Scooby-Doo start with Scrappy. Damn it.
Yeah.
Because even as a kid, I was kind of like, man, come on. Nobody likes Scrappy. Because I think they made him a villain in the movie, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep, that sounds right. Oh, Jabberjaw would be awesome too.
Yeah. Grape Ape.
See, and that's why it was so hard. You get into this era of cartoons, and it's just a endless pit of
Yeah.
toy ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you get into that whole Hanna-Barbera thing. So, oh God.
Yeah, yeah. Get some wacky racers going on, vehicles.
Penelope Pit Stop and Dirk would be, that's
Dick
awesome.
Dastardly.
Yeah.
Utley.
Dick Dastardly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and Blue Falcon was on my list too. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Give me Blue Falcon, maybe not so much Mezco, even though that would be pretty sweet. I'd buy that, but yeah, fully articulated Blue Falcon, Dynamite with interchangeable pieces, or maybe even bendy wires for limbs. You can tie them in knots.
Yep.
I'm saying yes to all y'all.
All
y'all.
of it.
But my pick is still Scooby-Doo today.
But Scooby-Doo, as you're describing it, I feel like it's weird that we don't have it.
Yeah. Why isn't this thing? Well, there's a lot of stuff that you're like, why isn't this a thing? And I can understand. But Scooby-Doo also, well, okay, maybe that license is to, I can't remember the company that made those last for the Scoob movie.
Yeah.
I had a package somewhere.
Yeah, that packaging.
So maybe it's locked up, but
yeah, it could be.
It's Scooby-Doo just seems like one of those evergreen things. It's always been there. It's always going to be around. Some of those others, not so much.
And I believe that the slice of the buying public that 112 kind of appeals to, they kind of fit in with that stuff, right? Even though they're a little more cartoony or whatever. I feel like it should be done.
Right. Oh, well, I forgot about the Lego line. And that reminds me, there's knockoffs. Or, well, is there Sesame Street Lego?
Sesame Street Ideas line. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I actually have that. Because it came with some minifigures, and it's part of it's the main building. It's 123 Sesame Street. It's a cool little set.
Ah, gotcha. Captain Caveman.
Oh God, El Kabong. El Kabong. I need El Kabong.
Oh, like I said, Thundar's on my list, but
Thundar is like your Mega Man.
Thundar is Thundar. You think of Thundar, you think of Ariel, you think of Ookla, and I would be happy with that. Boom. And it's the same with Scooby-Doo. If they only gave us the gang, I'd be okay with that too. But they could go way beyond.
Yeah,
because that was a lot of Thundar had villains and background characters and stuff, but they're not as memorable as some of the ghosts from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. And they're some of them just had really, really cool designs.
Because and I'm sure they have names. I can't remember any of the names, but
they do, because they were on the packages when we bought them. So
the diver, the thing, they already have most of that with Baron Bins.
Yeah.
Hell, with a new head, I would use Baron Bins with my Scooby-Doo gang.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They could call her Princess Ariel and get away. Well, no, that's even worse, isn't it? That's even more. Hey, Disney, come sue us. They could go Thundar's Princess Ariel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, celebrity guest stars? Give me a Don Knotts in Mezco. Holy shit.
Or I always think of the Globetrotters when I think of Scooby-Doo.
Globetrotters in Mezco?
Yeah.
Yep. That's the most memorable ones for me, at least, and Batman.
Yeah.
Well, I think Korn on Scooby-Doo more recently. You can get the band Korn in Mezco. Damn it. The Three Stooges.
Yeah. Oh,
Phyllis Diller.
That's another big one. Yeah.
Who doesn't want a Phyllis Diller action figure?
Hey, I'd buy it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's our picks. Something that we could probably do this on a weekly basis and
Right.
have different picks every week.
Or even just think of all the other lines we could get through in doing this too. You know, there's a lot out there.
Because yeah, we could have picked Mezco. We could have picked well, gargoyles. For a second I was thinking gargoyles, but then that seems like it's going to be they're burning through quick. I feel like
that little teaser, man. It's like
yeah,
Goliath's cool, but all the other stuff is just like, ooh,
but that's all the big main lines. Besides like Transformers, Power Rangers, stuff we don't.
Well,
I pick up Transformers every now and then.
There are several like Ultimates lines too that I would get into with like Thundercats and Silverhawks and stuff like that. I could do that easily, but you know.
Yeah, I'm not a big Thundercats. We're getting to the point where I've got most of what I want, you know. And Silverhawks, I don't even think that was a real cartoon. I think y'all are making that up. And
I have it. The next time you're here, you're gonna get some watching in.
Yeah, watch some Silverhawks.
Yeah.
Because
the opening, their song, oh, it's awesome. It's very real.
Damn it. I forgot Tiger Sharks.
Well,
you gotta think Tiger Sharks is coming at some point, right?
Well, I mean, they own it now, so
is Tiger Sharks part of the Silverhawks?
I think, or maybe not. No. I don't know, but I well, yeah, probably not. But I don't think anybody's like beating down the door to do Tiger Sharks. So if somebody's gonna do it, it's gonna need to be Super 7.
Exactly. Larry Moe and Ron Curly. You talking about Curly Joe? Or Shemp for the win? I didn't care for Shemp when I was a kid.
Me neither.
It was always, yeah.
I remember watching Stooges episodes before school.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever Shemp showed up, it was like,
poor Shemp. He probably felt like that for the rest of his life. Because I think Curly Joe came even later than that.
He did. Yep. Because, yep, he was the last one, and he like had like a no violence rider in or something. So like he didn't even really get into it as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate Shemp now though. Yeah. I can go back and watch that a lot easier than Curly Joe. Oh, Jonathan Winters with Sound Chip.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with the Scooby-Doo line. Let's go Bozo the Clown. I wonder who owns Bozo the Clown. That's got to be its own corporation or something.
Yeah,
is that still going?
I don't know, but that's another one. It's like how I saw so much of Bozo as a kid. I guess it was before school type of thing. It's like it's weird.
Because I don't remember later, but I remember WGN. That was we'd watch Bozo in the morning, and they'd always show half a cartoon. They'd show like the first 8 minutes or 22. It would be 11 minutes of Transformers.
Because Bozo was WGN, right? Based out of Chicago. I mean,
I've looked it up since then, but Bozo was the televised one, but they had Bozo franchises, I guess, in other cities, which I wouldn't know about. All I ever knew was WGN.
There's a whole episode of The Simpsons that essentially riffs that. So,
really?
With Krusty, yep.
Some actor bought Bozo the Clown, and the way I was reading it, at some point there was a year or two waiting list to go on the show to be in the audience.
Wow.
With oh god,
Cookie
and the Wizard Wizzo.
Okay, so you remember
Wizzo had the doody.
You remember Cookie's hair? He was bald and hung down in that 70s.
Kind of sad.
Yeah, I will never forget this. I was at a hockey game one time, and like 2 rows in front of us, I would have sworn it had to be Cookie. Because I'm sure that was a wig, but this dude had hair just like Cookie's, except that was his hairstyle. And I, for some reason, I'll never forget that.
There is quite a few people saying David Arquette owns Bozo.
That's weird.
Were you at that San Diego Comic-Con with David Arquette and Pee Wee? Okay. Yep. I can't remember who was with, but
yeah.
Yeah. David Arquette. The wrestler? I've heard he's, you know, he's works his ass off wrestling. The former WCW champion.
Yeah.
Do you remember watching the ball at the grand prize game and thinking, "Oh, that's easy"? But now that your adult brain, ping pong balls
into a metal thing, and the bottom of it, you know, the bottom of it was convex going in, so it would like bounce right off of that.
Right. Yeah. Oh, but it looked easy as a kid.
It's like throwing it at the back of a spoon.
Oh,
yeah.
But what you think? Time to get out of here? We did our list.
This was fun. It was a good list. I enjoyed talking about, you know, your picks and thought process to get to them and whatnot.
You make me realize. You make me realize other toy lines that I may not think about. You know.
Well, that, and it'll be interesting to see, since, I mean, we're doing this in January, which was a good time to do this. If we remember to look back on this maybe in December and see if any of this stuff comes around, and if not, because it's like, you would hope that if we did something like this next January, you could clean the slate and do it, but you know that's not going to be there's going to be ones that haven't been done. So
right, and I never remember to come back to this stuff. In fact, something will get announced and somebody will post. Didn't you wish list that? And I have to think, wait, did I wish this? Because man, I could go all day, and I do during live streams about wanting this or that or him, her, it, everything.
Yeah, and it's just stuff I didn't think about today that I'll put on a list later.
Shooter, you showed up 2.5 hours late. I did see that Dan Who streamed today, so I don't know if he got off schedule or if we got off schedule, because I think the duck race was going on.
We were off schedule last week, right?
Yeah, but we had skipped, but I could have swore I'd tried to keep the schedule. Maybe he saw us last week, because I think he took a few weeks off. He saw us last week and thought today would be clear. So
bad penny right here.
I can do this all day. Oh, Jackie Chan Adventures.
Oh man, correct. Chuck Norris Karate Commandos.
I think Dan got off schedule. Yeah, I'll shoot him a message here in a little bit, see what's going on. Hey, what's going on? No, not like that. I just don't. Yeah, whenever I try to schedule these things, we had alternating weeks for a while, but New Year. Hey, what do you think? What are you thinking?
Oh,
okay. Right. Okay. Did you say Chuck Norris Karate Commandos? Okay. I couldn't remember if you said that or if that was just swirling in my brain.
Well, maybe it was, and it just like I heard it too.
Mezco, Chuck Norris Karate Commandos.
Mezco Chuck Norris probably needs to be having tight fitting jeans and cowboy boots, right?
Actual body hair on the body on the figure too. That's still my favorite. That's still there's a lot of Bruce Lee moments, but that one where he reaches out and grabs Chuck's chest hair.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, okay. But we appreciate everybody coming out, listening to us ramble for a couple of hours about action figures.
Yeah.
I say it like that because
We'll be back at it again in a couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
Or whenever, whatever the schedule suggests. However it works out. What do you want to talk about next time? It's too spur of the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
We haven't thought about it.
It's tough.
Because you never know what's going to happen if they're going to come out with, maybe we'll be talking about the live stream that happens, the new reveals, because Toy Fair being canceled kind of.
Yeah, I'm trying to put some plans around that, and I guess we probably need to think about what we want to do anyway. But I'm getting in touch with some people and seeing what we can do to kind of. There's no substituting for being right there and talking to people and seeing stuff in person, but we'll try to make the best of it.
But there's also something to be said of sitting at home, pajamas, getting the pictures all at the same time as everybody else, going, yes. But
all right.
Until then, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the
Fwoosh. Oh man, I nearly missed that.